first entertainment television. Turn on the heat.
Joy. That is the mystery of love.
நிலவிலும் பெண்கள் கால் பதிக்கும் காலம் வெகு தூரத்தில் இல்லை.
I joined the Indian Police Service as a tough woman. பெண்களுக்கு இன்னும் தைரியம் வரணும்.
பெண் சாதனையாளர்களை அடையாளம் காட்டும் நிகழ்ச்சி உமன் ஐகான்.
Woman. When someone asks me who is a woman, the only thing that comes to my mind is the saying, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. A woman encompasses so many things: beauty, compassion, intelligence, empathy, sensitivity. There are so many qualities about a woman which is so underestimated. She is a multitasker, she provides for everybody, she's a nurturer, she cares for everybody in the family, she's a good wife, she's a good daughter, she's a good daughter-in-law, she's a good mother. She does everything and anything with such ease and dignity. I am very proud of being a woman, and I'm sure you are too. Success. What is success? How do you define success? For some, success is making a lot of money. For some, it's about having a lot of fame. For some, it's about having power. But basically what success means to me is to have a good and healthy work-life balance, being able to have a good and successful career, and having a very happy family life. That, according to me, brings a lot of happiness and contentment, and that really defines success for me. If you think I'm just only beautiful, or just only intelligent, or just only too sensitive, well, you're completely mistaken. I'm a wonderful mixture of all three. I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, and I'm warm, and I'm sensitive, and that's what makes me a woman, and I'm very proud of it. Colors. A lot of people seem to come up and walk to me and ask me, is there a relationship between colors and emotions? I think there definitely is, because colors actually signify a lot of your emotions. Take for example the fact that you want to wear black. Subconsciously it means that particular day you want to remain mysterious or sensual. Or if they've had a fight with their husbands or some unpleasantness at work, they tend to wear red, which subconsciously shows their anger. So emotions do definitely have a role to play in the choice of colors. And if you've noticed the fact that I was wearing green initially, green is a color of happiness, and I changed to orange. Orange is a color of vibrancy, and that portrays the kind of vibrant personality that I am. Anyway, so to conclude, I want to talk to you about my childhood, my education, my life as a psychologist, and I'd like to take you through that trip with me. Hi, I'm Dr. Mini Rao. I'd like to give you a little flashback into my childhood life, from how I grew from Mini Rao to Dr. Mini Rao. So let me take you back in time to how I was as a child. As a child, I was always very, very receptive to people's problems. I always used to listen to my maid or my cook or my driver. They would pour out their problems to me. And I realized I actually had some kind of a skill which made people feel better after talking to me. So I took it one step higher. I decided to do my bachelor's in sociology. And there was a paper on psychology which I was very, very interested in. And slowly from there I moved on to do my master's in psychology, applied psychology, after which I did my MPhil in clinical psychology and moved on to do my doctorate in psychology as well. So basically, as I was the last child, I was actually able to empathize, sympathize, be better adjusted and help my sister out, because at a crucial time when my mother passed away, my sister went into a deep clinical depression. So when I counseled her day in and day out after my mom's death, I realized she was actually starting to feel better about her depression. She started to feel she improved in her condition, and I realized I must have some kind of talent. So besides this, I also realized that if I could do this with my sister, I could do this with so many other people. They can benefit from my skills and my knowledge. So that's when I actually realized I had the potential to become a psychologist. I had the necessary skills, the non-judgmental attitude, the empathy and all the skills that's required of a psychologist. And here I am, Dr. Mini Rao, the psychologist. Let me tell you a little bit about my career as a psychologist. There are patients who come to me from the ages of 6 to 60. They come to me with various problems like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, eating disorders, cases of anger, substance abuse, marital counseling. There are numerous mental illnesses which I address. What I basically do as a psychologist is start my first sessions by building rapport with my patients. The first step to having a good relationship with them is to be able to get along with them. So once I do that, I move on to the next step. And when they talk about their problems, I immediately try to confirm their diagnosis by giving them a series of psychometric tests. So once I confirm the diagnosis with psychometric tests, what I do is the next step, of course, is the treatment phase. The treatment phase can consist of anything depending upon the severity of the illness. For example, if a person is suffering from severe clinical depression and if they can't be treated by psychotherapy, which I do as a therapist, I immediately refer them to a psychiatrist, because medication is the only way you can bring down the chemical imbalance of the brain which causes the depression. I have treated a variety of cases and I have a variety of celebrities coming to me for treatment. Because I am not the traditional kind of psychologist, I am a very futuristic kind of psychologist. I give my patients a lot of freedom, a lot of space, and I don't advise them, I only listen to them. A lot of people are not aware that there is a connection or a relationship between physical and mental health. Lack of sleep is actually a huge risk factor for heart illnesses. In the same way, anxiety is actually a risk factor for causing cancer. Many people are really not aware of it and they don't seem to take care of their physical health in terms of a proper diet or exercise, and also in terms of being stress-free in cases of mental health. Basically, I am a holistic healer. I look after the physical and mental health aspect of an individual. That's why I'm different from other psychologists. I tell them on what diet they should be, on the kind of exercise they should do, and also I tell them the ways to be stress-free by meditation and yoga. So that makes me different and more unique than other traditional psychologists. There's not much awareness when it comes to emotional abuse. Everybody is very familiar with what physical abuse is. That is hitting, punching, kicking, biting, slapping. Those are the forms of physical abuse. That's where the bruises show and the hurt shows externally. Whereas emotional abuse is something far deeper which will leave a lot of psychological scars. That's when you hurt a person by not appreciating them, by controlling their finances, by controlling their emotions. That's a far harsher way of abuse than physical abuse. I would like to talk to you about a case that I recently encountered. It's about this couple who came to me for post-marital counseling. I spoke to the wife first, who said there was something uneasy about the relationship which she couldn't put her finger on. She said her husband was very nice to her, he didn't physically abuse her, but she felt something was missing in their relationship. So that's when I got talking and I found out that he was controlling her finances. He wasn't showing her affection, he wasn't showing her admiration, he was forever criticizing her, he was putting her down in front of all her relatives, he was humiliating her, he intimidated her by gestures, by showing her threatening faces. And that's when I explained to her that it was a case of emotional abuse. She didn't realize she was being emotionally abused. She didn't even know the symptoms of emotional abuse. So that's when I explained to her that there are certain ways in which a man can emotionally abuse a woman. That's by threatening gestures or looking at her sharply or criticizing her, or by withdrawing attention or affection, by not admiring her, by putting her down in front of her relatives, or by threatening her to take away her children. I mean, that kind of symptoms or that kind of treatment is emotional abuse. I advised her to have a talk with her husband, and I also told her if he doesn't stop doing these things, that she would actually take serious action. I'm really astounded to find out that women don't know the meaning of emotional abuse and they put up with it with their husbands. So I was very glad I was able to make her realize and make her aware that emotional abuse was a kind of bad treatment meted out to her. So I'm very glad she took my advice and she listened to me and she spoke to her husband. She said she was going to take a stand, and if he was going to continue to treat her so badly, she was going to leave the relationship. So I'm happy that I actually made a woman aware that she was being emotionally abused. I would like to give you a little insight into my marriage. And I met my husband at a holiday resort and we fell in love. We had a lot of problems where families didn't agree to our marriage, but we kind of convinced them and we got married. We are very happy now. The point I'm trying to make to you young girls today is, don't marry for money, don't marry for fame, don't marry for power, marry for love. That's the only thing that's going to work in the long run. I would like to talk to you about a particular case that I handled recently. It's about parental expectations from a girl. She wanted to do interior decoration. She was very much interested. She had the aptitude. She was very talented. But her parents wanted her to do engineering. They actually joined her in an engineering college, paid a huge capitation fee. The girl was forced to study engineering, although she didn't like it. And she was on the verge of committing suicide because she was getting a lot of arrears. She wasn't able to cope with the studies. So I was extremely appalled to know that the parents, despite knowing their daughter wasn't interested in engineering, forced her to actually solve their aspirations and, to fulfill their dreams. My only request to parents, please don't force your aspirations and dreams onto your children. Let them do what they want in terms of their career. Because at the end of the day, it's their life, it's their career, they have to be happy with what they do. So my humble request to you parents, please allow your children to do what they please. For all you wonderful girls out there, here's a little bit of advice on how to be successful in life. Not just successful work-wise, but also happiness-wise, contentment-wise, basically a work-life balance. Let me start by saying you have to start with being respectful to your parents. They mean the best for you. They have you in their hearts. Secondly, treat the elders with respect. One day you're going to turn old and you'll know what I mean. Thirdly, don't lie unnecessarily. It's only going to get you into a lot of unnecessary trouble. Fourthly, don't get angry or upset over small things. They really don't matter in the long run. Lastly, learn to forgive and forget. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to hold a grudge, it's going to affect you. It's going to make you angry and frustrated. So just learn to let things go. A word of advice for you youngsters, please take care of your physical health. You have to have a proper diet, you have to exercise properly, and also be stress-free. Things aren't worth taking so seriously. Last but not the least, be yourself. Don't be the person other people want you to be. Woman. When someone asks me the question, who is a woman or what does a woman mean to you? All I can think of is that wonderful saying, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. A woman is someone who encompasses so many beautiful qualities. She is beautiful, she is intelligent, she is sensitive, she is emotional, she is compassionate, she is empathic. She has so many qualities that define her. She is multi-talented, she multitasks, she juggles so many jobs. She is a daughter, a sister, a daughter-in-law, a wife. She does so many roles with such dignity and with such ease. I am so proud to be a woman, aren't you?